Are we just a shell company for Israel?
War with Iran, not a good idea. And people are like, oh, are you for Hamas? I'm for America. If you think the welfare of another country is the most important thing for you as one of the leaders of our country, you have lost the thread, son. I have no obligation to believe anybody. And if your recourse is, you're a bad person, fuck you. That's my response. Fuck you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
I am a reaver and I was taught how to pray Salah.
That means every single time I pray,
the person who told me gets the reward.
5 times a day, from Fajr to Isha.
If you want to support someone like me in learning Salah,
then sponsor 10 people for just £100.
remember the Prophet, peace be upon him, said,
Charity does not decrease wealth. Click the button and donate now.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. Alright, so I was sent a clip from a podcast collab between Theo and Tucker Carlson, two very prominent alternative media voices with massive platforms that are the target of a lot of criticism from the pro-Israel side. I would say both Tucker and Theo are more pro-American than they are anti-Israel. However, for the Israeli government and their paid propaganda puppets, this is not good enough, as they demand full conformity from absolutely everyone, while they mass murder hundreds of thousands of innocent Arabs and Muslims. Tucker Carlson seems to have had enough of these pressure tactics and gave a scathing response to his critics. Let's take a look.
Do you think we get fair news about, like, even the war, like in Israel? Do you think we get fair information about that? Like, Joe Rogan had a lady on recently, and she was saying that, like, the perception of what happens over there isn't the information that we get, you know? Did you see that?
Think of it this way. What's at stake? People's lives, control of governments, control of land, you know, ancient rivalries and hatreds. I've spent a lot of time over there, and I will freely confess I don't understand a lot of the dynamics because I'm from La Jolla. I'm not from, you know, Jenin or Jerusalem or Qatar. It's like, I'm not from the region, okay?
Yeah,
I don't speak the languages. The only thing that enrages me is when you hear people say, you know, you must believe me. I have no obligation to believe anybody. You have an obligation, if you want me to believe you, to prove what you're saying.
Right.
And I have a right to ask simple, fair questions. How do you know that? How can I trust that? And if you don't give me those answers, then I just don't believe you. And I don't have to believe you. And if your recourse is, you're a bad person for not believing me, fuck you. That's my response. Fuck you. And especially in this case.
Dave Chappelle was just in Boston, man. You saw what they did to him over there?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know. If you go to listen to Dave Chappelle these days, you know he's going to talk more about a lot of stuff. You know, Dave Chappelle criticizes Israel, spars with crowd at Boston show.
The one point that I read that I did agree with was the United States is implicated in this, and so we have a right to have an opinion on it. And that is obviously true. And anyone who tells you don't have a right to have an opinion or you must have one specific opinion is wrong. And I think it's fair to say that. Why should I support a war with Iran? Shut up! You know, calling me, what? You know, I have 4 children of draft age. Like, why is that not a fair question for me? Shut up! The new Speaker of the House comes in, and the first thing he does is issue a statement on behalf of a foreign country. What bigger statement does that make?
That's him, Mikey Johnson?
Yeah. If you think the welfare of another country is the most important thing for you as one of the leaders of our country, third in line to the presidency, you have lost the thread, son, because it's not. Nothing is more important for the leaders of our country than our country and how its 350 million people are doing. So I was enraged by that. And people are like, oh, are you for Hamas? Of course I'm not for Hamas at all. I'm for America, actually. I shouldn't even have to answer that question. And I feel deep resentment about that the concerns of this country are of no concern.
Right. It feels like our concerns don't even matter anymore.
They don't matter.
That's why it makes me wonder, are we just a shell company for Israel?
Well, there are a lot of people who live here who really like it here, and it wouldn't be hard to rally them and just say, like, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're this, you're that, but we're all American, and let's have a conversation about what's best for our country. You would get people from all sides being like, that's right, that's the right conversation. We may not even agree, but that's the conversation we should be having. And if you don't do that, I'm just telling you, you play with fire. People go crazy.
I agree. But yeah, I think our country has been compromised by people that don't care.
War with Iran, not a good idea. And by the way, once you decide you're going to go to war with Iran, as we've apparently the morons who run our country have decided, that is, I mean, a very likely outcome that they're going to do something like that.
Really?
Absolutely.
Theo stated the obvious when he said the news that comes out of Israel that's peddled to the world by the mainstream media and Israeli propagandists is a complete distortion of reality. We've seen all the images from Gaza and the West Bank online, which the media refused to report and the Israeli government continues to deny, despite there being a vast amount of graphic evidence to the contrary of countless brutal crimes against humanity. And this is exactly why Israel and their supporters have become hated across the world. As I said previously, Tucker isn't even anti-Israel, though at this point I don't know how anyone couldn't be. He's just America first. So coming from this position, I can understand why he would express indignation at the demands of the Israeli government and their seedy mouthpieces to conform to their toxic ideology. As Tucker said, the burden of proof is on Israel, and despite their endless deflection tactics, spin doctoring, blame shifting, rehearsed doublespeak, evasive language, and tired propaganda, no one believes them. Like he said, as an American citizen, he has every right to oppose his country being dragged into a war with Iran, which the evil Israeli PM Netanyahu is pushing for. As such, a horrific conflict would be to the detriment of all of us and will only benefit Israel. Tucker was also correct to call out every US politician putting Israel before America as being sellouts and scammers. And quite rightly, both Theo and Tucker were enraged at the fact that billions in American money is still being bled away to Israel to fund their ongoing massacre in Gaza while US citizens are suffering. People across the globe have awakened to the evils of the Zionist agenda. And as Tucker Carlson stated, this is a uniting factor for everybody outside of the elitist bubble, regardless of our political preferences or personal beliefs. I feel the same as Tucker about the Israeli regime's false accusations and shaming tactics against anyone who calls them out for starting endless wars. We will not be bullied, silenced, or deterred, and we will continue to stand even more defiantly in opposition to these genocidal maniacs that are responsible for destroying our planet. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description, and remember to like, subscribe, and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.